Good morning, children. I hope it's a good day for you. And in the previous class, we learned about the universe and what are the things we can see in the universe, isn't it? We have learned about the planets and what do you mean by a planet, about the universe, about the stars, and at the same time, in the previous means the second class, the second part, we have learned about the sun and the orbit, the solar system, and the planets which are arranged in the order of the increasing distance of the sun from the sun, isn't it? All these things we have learned in the previous class. And when you watch my video class, please open the textbook and keep it in front of you. Okay, it will be easier for you to understand. So I am telling this, okay, dear children. And we have learned so many things about the universe, isn't it? In that we have learned about the planets, the peculiarities of each planet also we learned, isn't it? In that we learned about the planets, the sun, the stars, and all include what in the universe. Not only that, other things also there in the universe, isn't it? We have learned about the small pieces of rocks, the dust particles, and the ice, and all these also include in the universe. So we are going to learn about that. Clear, children? And not in detail, you have to understand what is that. Only that is enough, because you are going to learn in the higher classes in detail. Okay? So we can go to our class. Okay? In the previous class, we learned about what? About the peculiarities of the planets. How many planets are there? The peculiarities of the planets. So now we are going to learn about the moon. Not in detail, but a little about the what? About the moon. Okay, you have seen the moon. When you will see the moon at night, we can see the moon at night. It is glowing, isn't it? It is very beautiful. And everyone watch the moon, isn't it? At night. And nowadays we cannot see the moon because of heavy rain. We cannot watch the moon, not going outside, isn't it? And now the moons. Moons are also the small heavenly bodies that move around the planet. They are also the small heavenly bodies that move around the planet. In the previous class, ma'am told you that most of the planets have their own moons, isn't it? Most of the planets have their own moons. They are also the small heavenly bodies that move around the planet. For example, Earth, isn't it? Earth is an example. Earth also has its own moon. A moon is there for the Earth that we can see at night, isn't it? So, they are also smaller heavenly bodies that move around the planets. They are the smaller heavenly bodies that move around the planets. And a question is there in the textbook. Page number 223, a question is there. Does the moon have its own light? A question is there for you. Does the moon have its own light? Yes or no? What do you say? Some will tell yes, it has its own light. And some will tell me no ma'am, it doesn't have that. So the correct answer is that what? The moon does not have its own light, because it is a natural satellite of the Earth. It doesn't have a light. And how we can see the moon glowing in the sky? Because of what? Because of what? The light from the sun falls on it. Because of the sun. Because of the light of the sun that falls on the moon. So the moon glows at night. The moon does not have its own light actually, isn't it? How the moon gets its light? Have you ever thought about that? Now it's wondering for you, isn't it? Some knows the answer, some are not, isn't it? So how it gets the light from the sun falls on it. It brights, isn't it? Bright in color. It comes the moon. We can see the moon. Moon is glowing up in the sky. Why? Because the sun's light falls upon the moon. The light from the sun falls upon the moon or on it. Clear? That is the moon. About moon you have to know. So once more, they are the smaller heavenly bodies that move around the planets. Most of the planets have their own moons. For example, our Earth also have a moon. Clear for you? I hope it's clear for you. And one more thing is that the moon does not have its own light, but the light is because of what? Because of the sun. The light from the sun falls on it. Okay. The next one is we are going to learn about the asteroids. Asteroids. Asteroids means, I told you, in the universe, not only the planets, stars and the moons and the sun, but also what? So many rock pieces are there, dust particles are there in the universe. So these rock pieces are called what? The asteroids. Asteroids are the rock pieces. Okay? Asteroids are a large number of small rock pieces. A large number of small pieces of rocks are found between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Orbit. We have learned about the orbit, isn't it? What do you mean by an orbit? The path, the way where the planets move around, isn't it? The path, the way, isn't it? It is called what? The orbits. So the asteroids are a large number of small pieces, pieces of rocks, and are found between the orbit of two planets. What are the two planets? Mars and Jupiter. They are between the orbits. They can see, these pieces of rocks can be seen between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Clear? Not to go in detail, because you are going to study in detail in higher classes. Okay, what do you mean by an asteroid? Asteroids are large number of small pieces of rocks, small rock pieces are found between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. These are called the asteroids. Clear? And the next one is what? About the comets. The comets. What do you mean by a comets? Have you heard about the comets? Anybody? If you are in the classroom, I can hear the answers, isn't it? About the comets. They are also the heavenly bodies. They are also included in the heavenly bodies that are made up of gas, dust and ice. In the universe, I told you, not only the stars, the sun and the planets and their moons, but also include the small pieces of rocks, the dust particles, gases and the ice. They all include in the universe. The third one I told you about the comets. Comets are also the heavenly bodies that are made up of gas, dust and ice. Comets are also the heavenly bodies that are made up of what? The gas, dust and the ice. Example for a comet, the Halley's comet. You have heard about the Halley's comet, isn't it? Halley's comet is an example for a comet. And somebody may be seen in the picture or in the film, you can see the comets. And what is the peculiarity of a comet? It have a tail, isn't it? It have a tail. It looks like it have a tail when it passes. And the long tail and glows when they come near the sun. When they come near the sun, we can see that it glows. You can see a tail for the comet. For example, is that the Halley's comet only arises in 76 years. Means the Halley's comet appears after a gap of every 76 years. After a gap of every 76 years. So for every gap of 76 years, what appears? The Halley's comet appears. Okay. So what do you mean by a comet? Comet means other heavenly bodies that are made up of what? Gas, dust and ice. Okay. This is the Halley's comet. Clear? So they are the heavenly bodies that are made of gas, dust and ice. Clear, dear children? Now we learned about the three things: moon, smaller heavenly bodies. Most of the planets have their own moon, and the moon does not have its own light. Why the light? Because of the sun. Because the light from the sun falls on it. Because of that, the moon gets its light. And the second second point, the asteroids. I told you a large number of small pieces of rocks, and these are seen between the orbit of Mars and Jupiter. These asteroids. Okay, you must understand what we mean by that. That's enough for you. Okay, and next one, the comets. Comets are the heavenly bodies that are made of gas, dust and ice. For example, I told you the Halley's Comet. It also looks like a long tail. When you see up in the sky, it looks like a long tail. Why it glows? When they come near to the sun. These comets glows when it comes near to the sun. This Halley's Comet appears when after a gap of 76 years. This much about the comet. The next one is the galaxies. So what do you mean by a galaxy? You're hearing for the first time. All these things you're hearing for the first time. So I'm teaching you only what you mean by that. That's enough for you. Okay children, I'm not going in detail because you're going to learn this in the higher class in detail. Okay, what do you mean by a galaxy? So we can see what you mean by a galaxy. The stars that are gathered in groups. They are gathered in groups. The stars are gathered in groups with what? With dust and gases. With dust and gases. Means the stars are gathered in groups with dust and gases. Such group of stars are called what? Galaxies. Once more. The stars that are gathered in groups. The stars that are gathered in groups with what? With dust and gases. With dust and gases. And such group of stars are called what? The galaxy. So a group of stars. That's enough. A group of stars. They are gathered. They are gathered together. A group of stars. But they have what? The dust particles are there. At the same time, what? The gases also include in that. The dust and the gases. A group of stars are all together gathered. And that is called what? Galaxy. And in which galaxy do we live? You know the name of the galaxy do we live? It's called the Milky Way. The Milky Way, that we say in Malayalam, Agasha Ganga. Agasha Ganga, we say that the Milky Way. In which galaxy do we live? We live in the Milky Way galaxy. The name of our galaxy is what? Milky Way. Okay, once more. Means a group of stars that are gathered together. Okay, they are gathered together with what? With the gases and the dust particles. Such group of stars are called what? The galaxies. Okay dear children, a group of stars. It is called what? The galaxies. I think it's clear for you. And next one is what? About the constellations. What do you mean by constellations? That also a group of stars itself. They also what? A group of stars. But they are found in a definite pattern. Means they are arranged in a definite pattern. There will be a definite pattern will be there. Not all together. They will not stand all together. There will be a definite pattern will be there for that. Constellations. I will show you in the textbook. You can see in the textbook page number 224. And this one, see, textbook you can see that the two pictures you can see here, 1 and 2. See, these stars means these stars are in a definite pattern. They have a pattern, a order is there for them, a definite pattern is there for them, isn't it? These are called what? The constellations. For example, there are examples for constellation. What are the examples for constellation? And here it is given the Orion. Orion is a constellation. Orion. The first one in the page number 224, the first picture, we can see they are arranged in definite patterns. And they are called a group of stars that are arranged in definite patterns. They are called constellation, isn't it? So the first one we can see, example for the constellation is first one Orion. It is in the textbook itself. You can see the patterns. Orion. And the second one you can see the Ursa Major. Ursa Major. Ursa Major. The first one is what? The Orion. And the second one is what? The Ursa Major. These are the examples for constellations. So what do you mean by a constellation? Constellations are a group of stars, groups of stars. But they are what? They are found in arranged in what? Arranged in a definite pattern. They are arranged in definite pattern. Example for the constellation is what? First one Orion and second one Ursa Major. And Orion is also referred to as, Orion is also known as what? The hunter, referred to as the hunter. Orion is also known as what? The hunter. And the Ursa Major is also referred to as the Great Bear. The Great Bear. So, the Orion is also known as what? The hunter, and the Ursa Major is also known as what? The Great Bear. Okay, clear? And I think the topic is over here. And not to go in detail, you must learn what you mean by a constellation. All are group of stars. Galaxy is also a group of stars, but they include what? Dust and the dust particles and the pieces of, the rocks. Not rocks, the gas and the dust particles includes in the galaxies. A group of stars, they are arranged, gathered together. Okay, they are gathered together. And in groups along with the dust and the gases. Such group of stars are called what? Galaxies, that we have already learned. And next is what? The constellations. They are also the group of stars. But they are arranged in a definite pattern. Okay, they are found or arranged in a definite pattern. For example, what is the example for that? The first Orion and the Ursa Major. The first one, Orion is also known as the hunter and Ursa Major is also called the Great Bear. Clear for your children? And now, open your textbook, read the textbook thoroughly. I hope it's clear for you about the moon, the asteroids, the comets, isn't it? The galaxies includes what? The constellation. And one more thing I want to tell you, it is easy for you to understand like this. I will show you this one. How? You consider I am not so good in drawing, so please support me, okay? And this is, you consider this as the earth. This is the earth, you consider this one. And this one, you consider this as the solar system. This one is, this is the earth, hundreds of solar system are there. Hundreds of solar system are there. And then comes what? Then comes what? Galaxies. Thousands of galaxies are there. How many galaxies? Thousands of galaxies are there. And the last one includes what? The last one includes what? The universe. Simple, isn't it? This is the earth, hundreds of solar system, thousands of galaxies, and last comes the universe. Clear for you now? I think it's clear for you through this. Okay, now we are going to write the notes. So open your textbook and keep your notebook in front of you. And now we are going to write the question answers. Okay, write the question answers. And the exercise 225 and 226. And others are there, other the page number 221 also is there, fill in the blanks. 221 and 224 also is there, and 225. So please open your notebook and we can write. I will write only the answers, okay? I will write only the answers, fill in the blanks, tick the correct word to complete each sentence. In 225 we can say open the textbook. Open the textbook, okay? Now I am going to write the answers. So you see the questions and I will write the answer. Okay dear, I hope all opened the notebook, and now we are going to write the choose the correct answers and the fill in true or false and the question answers. Okay, so open the textbook 225 and the correct word to complete each sentence. Tick the correct word. The first one, planets move around the sun? The answer is sun. Second one, stars have their own heat and light. Okay. The third one, the heavenly body that is stationary is the sun. Third one. And the fourth one, asteroids are present between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Okay. And Orion is also referred to as the hunter. Write the question neatly. It's a new lesson and the notebook must be very neat. Write the title and start writing the fill in the blanks. Okay. And the next page 226, the true or false. Next one, true or false. In true or false, the first one, planets shine brightly in the sky during the day. True or false? True or false? They shine, the planets shine? No, so it is false, isn't it? The sun is a star. Yes, the sun is a star. Yes, true. The comets are rock pieces. Comets are not rock pieces. What are the rock pieces? The asteroids are the rock pieces. Comets include dust and the ice, gases, isn't it? So it is what? False. Third one, false. And fourth one, we live in the Milky Way galaxy. What's the name of our galaxy? The Milky Way galaxy. So the fourth one is what? True. And next, the last one, the constellations are group of solar system. Constellation or a group of stars. Now only we learned about that, a group of stars that are gathered in a definite pattern, isn't it? An example of constellation. So it is, the last one is not a solar system, so it is false. I hope it's clear for you, dear children. And next, what we are going to write? I am giving you only the questions that you have to write the answers. This is a homework for you. Okay. And we are not going all the questions in the textbook. It is not so important to write all the questions. I give the important questions. You write the important question and the answers in your notebook. Okay, that whatever I give you in the on the board. On the board, what I gave you the questions, write that in your notebook. Okay, not to go all the questions. No need of that. Okay, write the important questions. Clear? So the important questions I will give you on the board. Write that in your notebook. Clear, dear children? And write the answer also for that. Children, next the question and answers. I have given you the questions on the board. Only this much is enough. Okay? Not write all the questions in the textbook. Write only these 4 question answers is enough for you. Okay? The first one, what is universe? What are planets? Name the planets in their increasing distance from the sun. Why cannot we see the stars during the day? These questions are there in the textbook itself. Okay, and only this much is enough. And learn for the test. You have the test, unit test. Learn for the test all these question answers, and after writing these question answers, please submit me in the Google Classroom. I want to check your notes. Everyone must join in the Google Classroom and they must submit me the notes in the Google Classroom. Okay. And those who cannot, please send me to the WhatsApp, through my personal WhatsApp number. Okay, and I will check the notes and I will send you back. I will return it back. Okay, dear children, and learn for the test all these question answers and fill in the blanks, true or false, everything thoroughly. Clear? And don't write all the question answers in the textbook. Write only this much is enough for you. Only 4 question answers are enough for you. I hope it's clear for you, children. So that's all for today, and we can see in the next class. Bye, children.